Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Gopijana Vallabha Giridharadhari Ashodanandana Rajajanandana Yamunatira Vanachyari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Gopijana Vallabha Giridharadhari Yashodanandana Rajajanandana Yamunatira Vanachyari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Gopijana Vallabha Giridharadhari Yashodanandana Rajajanandana Yamunatira Vanachyari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Gopijana Vallabha Giridharadhari Yashodanandana Rajajanandana Yamunatira Vanachyari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare So we are ready to do the lecture on Srimad Bhagavatam. As every day and every ISKCON temple, and we begin with transcendental diary of Srila Prabhupada's, written by his personal servant, Harisavan Das. Dr. Wolf Rothkau sent a short letter entitled Statement and Confession to Prabhupada. He wrote, occasional short, in fact, very short, glimpses on the true import of spirituality make me realize that my approach to the Master's transcendental message is still largely intellectual, in other words, speculative, and therewith on the material level. Sorry. And I hear that a lifetime even is generally too short a time for a completion of the task of self-realization. What then of a few years of old age with a materialistically programmed mind? I ask myself. As the Master says, a devotee has to expect a whole lifetime of struggle with the never ceasing impacts of Maya. Considering this, I feel humbly grateful to have come what little way I have by the mercy of the Lord. May He, the Lord, allow me to struggle for Him. In gratitude and devotion, W. H. Wolf Rothkai, disciple. Srila Prabhupada is always pleased to hear from Dr. Wolf, and he appreciates that such a learned scholar has sincerely taken up to Krishna consciousness. He sent back a short reply of encouragement. Yes, this attitude will help you. Always pray to Krishna humbly, and he will surely help you. Tesham satata yuktatam bhajatam priti purvakam. Dadami buddhi yogam tam yena manu payanti te. To those who worship me with love, I give them the intelligence by which they can come to me. I think we can stop here so that this passage is clear uh, for us to understand how important it was and it is. Now it's difficult, different, not direct, the communication, the relationships with Srila Prabhupada. So direct or indirect relationships. Through his books, they are nevertheless always direct. And as Dr. Wolf is writing a letter to Srila Prabhupada saying that, so what I have understood from this letter, he was not a young person like me, and it was difficult for him to come to the self-realization, to go this way of self-realization. And he writes Srila Prabhupada that he is thankful to him for this possibility given to to get the understanding to come to Krishna. We're getting the intelligence, the understanding. If we're serving properly, Krishna can give us the understanding of how to come to Him. He can give us the understanding how we should serve. better and better for him. That is understanding how to come to him. And the last phrase in this letter is very impressive. He writes, in gratitude and devotion, W.H. Wolf Rothkow, disciple. So gratitude and devotion of disciple is very much important and was very much important for Srila Prabhupada because he was preaching and doing everything for the people around the world to make them and us be grateful and devoted to him. And that is a way to understanding of how to come to Krishna through our spiritual masters, whom we are very grateful and devoted to. And Srila Prabhupada writes, replies him that this attitude of being grateful and devoted, this attitude will help you. And that means this attitude will help us. And he writes to him, always pray to Krishna humbly, and he will surely help you. And he gives the text from Bhagavad Gita, I hope that is 10:10, 10th chapter, text number 10. Tisham Satata Yuktatam Vaja Tam Priti Purvakam Dadami Buddhi Yogam Tam Yenamam Upayanti Te. That to those who worship me with love and devotion, I give them the understanding of how to come to me, Krishna says. That is what we need. And it's also in this letter that this Mr. Wolf, he realizes that he is still very speculative. And he realized that he is still very much deep on the material level. And that is also very important for us to realize where we are, what level we have, how it is developing in our devotional service. Not to think I have already, wow, reached so much. I have learned by heart. I know I can understand Krishna. I'm reading the Leelas of Radha and Krishna. Wow, fully in love. That is speculation. All of this is great and very dangerous speculation of ours. But the attitude of being grateful and devoted, that is the right attitude, what Srila Prabhupada is writing here. So we should come to this attitude to be grateful to Srila Prabhupada and to his disciples, to our spiritual masters, to the authorities in the temple who are propagating this line of the pure knowledge coming from Lord Chaitanya, Sri Goswamis, and the whole parampara to us. And that's enough for us to come one day, if Krishna wants, to the understanding of how to come to him. So Hare Krishna, so I think that's all. If you want to ask or add something, please, you're welcome. You have questions or comments on your experiences? No? Shall I go to Srimad Bhagavatam? So reading today from the Srimad Bhagavatam, that is Amala Purana, old but very, very pure knowledge and descriptions of Krishna's form, pastimes, names, and his activities. So we're reading from the seventh canto, part 1, and text 26. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naraksheva Narottamam Devim Saraswati Vyasam Tatam Jayamutiraye. Before giving the class of reading the class of Srimad Bhagavatam, that is itself the name of contest, we pay our humble obeisances to the Lord Narayana, to the Narayana Rishi, the supermost human being, to the goddess of learning, Mother Saraswati, and to the author, Shiva Vyasadeva. Om-Gyana-Timirandasya Vinachana-Shalakayam Chakshurunaritam Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Mahavishtham Sthapitam Yena Bhutaya Swayam Rupa Kadamahya Tadati Sva Padantikam Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripasinthubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavabhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. The commentary to this text is relatively long and it's very nice. Then we can get some more knowledge of the how to come to Krishna, to give more understanding. So I read line by line from Sanskrit, and you too. Tasmat varanyo banthenam nirvairana bhayena vam snehat kamena vayunjya kathanchinnikshate pritha. Tasmat vairana Nivairena Vayanava Snehat Kamena Vayunjya Kadanchil Nekshate Prithak Tasmad Vairana Bhaktena Nivairena Vayanava Snehat Kamena Vayunjya Kathanchin Nekshate Prithak. No, please. Tasmad Vairana Bhaktena Nivairena Vayanava Snehat Kamena Vayunjya Kathanchin Nekshate Prithak. Tasmad Vairana Bhaktena Nivairena Vayanava Snehat Kamena Vayunjya Kathanchin Nekshate Prithak. Okay, now we're reading the word for word translation made by his divine grace A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Tasmat Therefore, Vaira Anubanthena, by constant enmity, Nirvairana, by devotion, Varyana, by fear, Va, who, Sneha, from affection, Kamena, by lusty desires, Va, O, Yunjat. One should concentrate, 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 and so on. Somehow or other, no, not. Ikshate, sees, Prithak, something else. Translation made by His Divine Grace S.C. Bhaktivedanta Srila Prabhupada. Therefore, by enmity or by devotional service, by fear, by affection, or by lusty desire, by all of these or any of them, if a conditioned soul somehow or other concentrates his mind upon the Lord, the result is the same. For the Lord, because of his blissful position, is never affected by enmity or friendship. Report to this text made by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada Ki. From this verse, one should not conclude that because Krishna is unaffected by favorable prayers or unfavorable blasphemy, one should therefore blaspheme, blaspheme the Supreme Lord, criticize. This is not the regulated principle. Bhakti Yoga means Anukuliyana Krishna no Shivanam. One should serve Krishna very favorably. This is the real injunction. Here it is said that although an enemy thinks of Krishna unfavorably, the Lord is unaffected by such anti-devotional service. Thus, he offers his benedictions even to Shishupala and similarly inimical conditioned souls. This does not mean, however, that one should be inimical towards the Lord. The stress is given to the favorable execution of devotional service, not purposeful blasphemy of the Lord. It is said, Nindam Bhagavata Shrinvams Tatparasya Janasya Va Tato Na Paiti Yasopi Yatyatha Sukrak Suktash Chiyutayaha. One who hears blasphemy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead or his devotees should immediately take action or should live. Otherwise, he will be put into hellish life perpetually. There are many such injunctions. Therefore, as a regulative principle, one should not be unfavorable towards the Lord, but always favorably inclined toward him. Shishupala's achievement of oneness with the Supreme Lord was different because Jaya and Vijaya, from the very beginning of their material existence, were ordained to treat the Supreme Lord as an enemy for 3 lives and then return from there to Godhead. Jaya and Vijaya inwardly knew that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but they purposely became his enemies to be delivered from material life. From the beginning of their lives, they thought of Krishna as an enemy, and even thought blaspheming Lord Krishna. They chanted the holy name of Krishna constantly, along with their inimical thoughts. Thus, they were purified because of chanting the holy name of Krishna. It is to be understood that even a blasphemia, the person who is blasphemous, can be freed from sinful activities by chanting the holy name of the Lord. Certainly, therefore, freedom is assured for a devotee who is always favorable to the service of the Lord. This will be clear from the following text. By rapt attention fixed upon Krishna, one is purified, and thus one is delivered from material life. Because the text is very long, I give some very short um, comment to this part of the text. So it says that Krishna is impartial to everyone, to the friends and to the enemies. Yes, and he but it doesn't mean that we have the right to criticize Krishna, like Shishupal, who was criticizing him, who was scolding him with bad words, even. And Shishupal was doing it purposely because he wanted to get this huge liberation, to merge into Brahman in his third life that comes from uh, Vijay and giant Vijaya who were cursed, and they were, how to say, somehow in a sense they should be so the enemies of Lord Krishna because they had the choice and they have chosen this way to stay 3 lives in the material world and to live the life of demons. And that's why their, how to say, task was to criticize Shishupala, the Lord with bad words. And they were thinking of Lord Krishna like as if he was their enemy, but they were chanting the holy name constantly, parallel with their very, how to say, aggressive thoughts to him. They are like an inimical thoughts of him. Parallel, they were nevertheless chanting his names. And that shows us how powerful the holy name is, that even the enemies, but who are chanting the holy names, that can be liberated from this punches, from these pangs of material existence. That's why that is this um, lila is given in Srimad Bhagavatam for us to understand the power and the pureness of the holy name. But their purpose was to reach Sayuja liberation, to merge into Brahman. So for the devotees, as the scriptures say, it is not so valuable to get to this Sayuja liberation. We have the other aim. We want to come to Krishna. We want to establish relationships with him. And the basis of these relationships is Anupuriyana Krishna. That is definition of bhakti given in Nectar of Devotion. So to serve him favorably, to him, to Krishna, and to his devotees. Favorably means to please him. But nevertheless, when someone is chanting and being fixed upon Krishna, this person is purified and can be delivered from the material life. So we are going on reading. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur has very nicely explained the word Vayena, which means by fear. When the gopis went to Krishna in the dead of night, they certainly feared chastisement by their relatives, their husbands, brothers, and fathers, but nonetheless, not caring for their relatives, they went to Krishna. There was certainly fear, but this fear could not check, could not stop their devotional service to Krishna. So in this passage, Srila Prabhupada says that Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur explains this word Bhayana, which means fear. But there are different types of fear. The gopis were also feared of the punishment in their families, the husbands and the relatives and brothers and sisters and mothers, maybe in the night. We can imagine at night the gopis are leaving their house, yes, and go to see Krishna because Krishna is the aim of their existence. Krishna is the center of all their actions they are doing in the families because they love him and they don't want to miss just even a second of being with him. And the other things, family, children, husbands, etc., they are secondary for him because Krishna is the primary, most important aim. That is mm, the causeless love of goddess. It doesn't matter how, what happens, and what they will get for punishment. It doesn't matter for them. That's why Brihad Bhagavatam Rita said that the gopis are getting the most portion of the mercy of Krishna because they love him causeless, without any condition, any reason, any uh, any aim to give something for to get something for themselves, only to be with him, only to see him. So we're going on reading. One should not mistakenly think that Lord Krishna must be worshipped by an inimical attitude like that of Shishupala. The injunction is anukulasya grahana, pratikulasya vachana. One should give up unfavorable activities and accept only favorable conditions in devotional service. Generally, if one blas, blasphemies the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he is punished. As the Lord says in Bhagavad Gita 16:19. Tan aham dvishata kruram samsarashu maratha man kshipam yajasra ashubham ashursive ashur ashurishve ashurish ashurishveva yonishu. There are many such injunctions. One should not One should not try to worship Krishna unfavorably, otherwise he must be punished, at least for one life, to be purified. As one should not try to be killing by embracing an enemy, a tiger or a snake. One should not blaspheme the Supreme Personality of Godhead and become his enemy in order to be put into hellish life. The purpose of this verse is to emphasize that even the enemy of the Lord can be delivered, not to speak of his friends. Srila Madhvacharya also says in many ways that one should not blaspheme Lord Vishnu through one's mind, words, or actions. For blasphemy will go to hellish life along with his forefathers. Karmana manasa vachyayo drishyad vishnu avya majanti pitarastasya narukeshashvatihi samaha. In Bhagavad Gita 16:19 till up to 20, The Lord says, Tannaham Dvishatakruram Samsarishu Narathamam Kshipanyajashram Ashubham Ashurshveva sorry Ashurishveva Yonishu Ashurim Yonim Apanamutva Janmani Mam Aparatyaiva Kantiya Tatoyan Yadharmam Gatim. Those who are envious and mischievous, who are the lowest among men, are cast by me into the ocean of material existence, into various demonic spices of life. Attaining repeated births amongst the spices of demonic life, such persons can never approach me. Gradually, they sink down to the most abominable type of existence. One who blasphemes the Lord is put into a family of Asuras, in which there is every chance of forgetting the service of the Lord. And Lord Krishna further states in Bhagavad Gita 9.11-12. Avachananti mamadha manosimtavamasitam param bhavam ajananto mama bhuta maheshwaram. Mudhas, rascals, blaspheme the Supreme Lord because he appears exactly like a human being. They do not know the unlimited opulence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Mokha Shamokha Karmano Mokha Jnana Vichitasaha Rakshasim Ashurim Chaiva Prakriti Mohinim Shritaha. Anything done by those who have taken the attitude of enemies will be baffled. Mokha Saha. Mokha Shaka. If these elements try to be liberated or to merge into existence of Brahman, if they desire to be elevated to the higher planetary systems as karmas, or even if they desire to return home back to Godhead, they will certainly be baffled. So I go a bit back because I find it very difficult to speak. So that is this text from Bhagavad Gita from 16:19 to 20 is repeated here several times because so if one is criticizing the Supreme Personality of God, and even we are reading every morning the 10 offenses, and the first offense said that to criticize the devotees and Lord Vishnu and the devotees is how it says in this text. Could you give me the text again? The first offense to blaspheme. Devotees of the Lord who have dedicated. Yeah. Yes, okay, to blaspheme the devotees who have dedicated their life to devotional service to Lord. It's a very, very great offense. That is Vaishnava Paradha. And what to say about Aparadha against the Supreme Personality of God? Nothing can be more. That's why we should not try to worship Krishna unfavorably, but only favorably. Not to misuse that Krishna is impartial to everybody. He doesn't love and doesn't hate. He doesn't have friends, he doesn't have enemies, because he is causeless merciful. He gives liberation to Putana even, who has come to him like a false mother with a poisonful milk in her breasts to kill him. But mm, he has taken this milk of hers because he accepted her as his mother. That is his causeless mercy. And then Putana, she was promoted to the higher planets to be there, how to say, the universal mother, to go on with her loving feelings of mother. And Krishna is killing many, many demons who are very inimical to him. Yes, and even Shishupala was killed with Sudarshana chakra. That is a very great mercy of Krishna's because Sudarshana means darshan. We know that is um, darshan to have relationships, to see Krishna, and so means auspicious. Sudarshana means very auspicious punishment. So he killed Shishupala and allowed him to come into him to get this Sayuja and Brahman liberation. In spite of the fact that Shishupala was very inimical and he was offending him all the time. So that's why we shouldn't misuse the Lord's mercy. And we shouldn't think, oh, if Krishna is so merciful, we can sometimes maybe say something not so good of him. Yeah, because nevertheless he is the supreme personality, he has everything. He can give us something. Why he doesn't give me this? Why he doesn't give me that? Why he is killing the people? Why he is making the wars? Why he's uh, why he is killing the children even? Yes, that is because of his causeless mercy, because the only one aim Krishna has to be Sufridam Sarva Bhutanam, to be the friend, the intimate friend, the very kind friend of us. And we have deserved to be punished. And he wants us to understand only this, that we have deserved to be punished. And that's why he is doing this, how to say, merciful actions, but they look like cruelty. That is not the cruelty of him. We have turned into the opposite direction from Krishna. We have left him, not he has left us. And we should be punished, and not him, certainly. That's why, if we accept all these challenges, all these checkings, all these tapasyas, like the punishment to us, accept it, they don't look like cruel actions. They look like absolute merciful actions for us to understand what we have made and then to be ready to be instructed by him. As Arjuna in Bhagavad Gita, he has thrown down his Gandiva vow and said, Krishna, so I can't anymore. So now please instruct me. Because he was in this doubtful situation, lamenting situation. He couldn't understand that his tapasya, he was given by Krishna, that is tapasya for him to understand that we shouldn't lament if Krishna wants us to do anything. That is his sweet will. Doesn't matter what happens. It is always his sweet will. And if he wants, he can do, he is omnipotent, omniscient, he can do everything he wants, all powerful. And that's why he should be always all attractive to us. Doesn't matter. what he is giving us to accept, how cruel it is, or sometimes very kind of him. And the muthas, or the yavanas, or different rascals, they can't understand it because they have the demonic perception. Demons are enemies, and their perception is inimical. These poor creatures, yes. And Krishna is also compassionate to them, and he wants to help them too, giving them this punishment, just like Chagai, just like Shishupal, and then to liberate them. Jagai and Madai also. They have made some mistake being the doorkeepers at Vaikuntha. That's a long story about Lakshmi as well too. Yes, and for Kumaras, they have cursed for Kumaras. They made mistakes, and for these mistakes, they have got the punishment. Yes, we shouldn't think what mistake I did, or is it mistake or not. It's not for us to understand if it is mistake or not, because our perception is defective. We have four defects. We are cheaters, we are speculators, we are doing mistakes, and our senses are not perfect. What can we understand ourselves? But when we are reading the scriptures like Srimad Bhagavatam, the descriptions of pastimes of Krishna, we got used gradually to understand how we should be, who we should be, what attitude we should have to God. That is the attitude of gratitude and devotion. Because it is written here, anything done by those who have taken the attitude of enemies, will be baffled. And if these enemies try to be liberated or to merge into existence of Brahman, their desires to be elevated to the higher planet systems as karmis, it is always will be baffled. As for Hiranyakashipu, although he was extremely inimical towards the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he always thought of his son, who was a great devotee. Therefore, by the grace of his son, Prahlada Maharaja, Hiranyakashipu was also delivered by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Hiranyakashipu's Chati Bhagavan Nindaya Tamaham Vivakshur Atyakashunnaham Prahladasyanubhavataha. The conclusion is that one should not give up pure devotional service. For one's own benefit, one should not imitate Hiranyakashipu or Shishupala. This is not the way to achieve success. I read again the text of Shila because I have already commented. I've already given some comment on it, but nevertheless, I read the text again. Therefore, by enmity or by devotional service, by fear, by affection, or by lusty desires, by all of these, or any one of them, if a conditioned soul somehow or other concentrates his mind upon the Lord, the result is the same. For the Lord, because of his blissful position, is never affected by enmity or friendship. What does Krishna want us to do? He wants us to understand that he is impartial to his enemies and to his friends, because he gives us his cause. It is causeless mercy. Doesn't matter enemy or friend, but certainly the ways he is giving us his causeless mercy They can be different according to our desires, what we want to get from Krishna, or better to say, what we want to give to Him. If we want to give Him our devotion and favorable service, kind service, Anakulyena Krishna, kind service to Him and to His devotees and to the previous acharyas, then um, He gives us the understanding of how to come to Him. He doesn't give us this, how to say, red teppich, red carpet as for Hollywood stars. Please take this prize, Oscar prize, I don't know how it's called, I forgot. Or this prize, or this Nobel Prize award, yes. He doesn't do it because that is all empty and speculative, but he gives us the devotional service. It was the lecture of my Guru Maharaj, and he was speaking about these topics. And one of the devotees says that what Krishna wants, he don't remember exactly. He wants somehow to use us his causeless mercy because we are serving him also causelessly. But his mercy, his causeless mercy in Mahamantra, because in Mahamantra we asking Krishna, please engage us in your devotional service. It is more, but only this, even this devotional service to you, in your joyful devotional service, in the loving service to you. And that is his mercy to give us Mahamantra, the mercy of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and to give us the possibility to serve him according to our desires. Not only this moment desires, but the previous desires. We desired much, to take much from Krishna, to give him nothing, or to give him $100, but to get back million of dollars. Yeah, okay, he can do it, but through devotional service. First deserve and then desire. First serve, then I get million of dollars. Yes, okay. Not exactly like this, but it's primitively to say, certainly. I'd like to understand and together with you that all what Krishna is giving to us is his mercy. Dayal Nitai, merciful Nitai, and victorious Vijaya Gauranga. Vijaya means victorious Gauranga. So they give us victory to overcome through our anarthas. And what are our anarthas? And mercifully they give it. Our anarthas here in this text. Fear, affection, but it means not this loving affection to the Lord. Lusty affection, lusty desire. Just a moment, Rishana Chakravati before. Anger, envy, lust, pride. These are our anarthas. And what about Shishupala? He was very proud. He was envy to Yudhishthira for his loving and devotional attitude to Krishna because he himself couldn't do it. And that's why he was scolding all the time and punishing and offending Krishna with the bad words, anarthas. We are getting all these challenges to get rid of our anarthas. Is not it the causeless mercy? We have left Krishna, but nevertheless, he gives us this possibility to come to him, to get rid of these anarthas, of these unwanted plants in our heart, to make our bhakti plant Bhakti Bija, and then Bhakti plant to grow freely and to give us the fruits of devotional service and love to God. That's why we should be grateful and devotional to every kind of the service we are given to do for Krishna favorably, to please Him, to be kind to Him, to be kind to His devotees, because the devotees Krishna loves so much, they are very, very dear to Him. And if a devotee should play the role of demon for 3 lives, he is also awarded. He got what he wanted. Sayuja, liberation. That is also Krishna's mercy. We should think of it. We should pay attention of what Krishna is giving us, how he invites us to come to the temple. He invites us to come to the temple, but sometimes we are not coming. I can't. I want to sleep more. I want to go shopping. I want to do some other thing to clean the house. So this piece of mercy is already lost. We should ask for the next one and use every possibility to be thankful to Him and not to waste our time. Because this love to Him is in our heart. It is in dormant state. It is sleeping. But He helps us through Paramatma to understand it, and to put us on the way we are going to serve Him, to Bhagavan. That's why we have all these 3 aspects, Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. Paramatma is the level where we are purifying all our anarthas to come to the other ways of devotional service, to be more stable, to have the taste, to be greedy, positively greedy, to serve more and more and more, and then to come to relationships with Him, and then to come to love to Him. So that means that Krishna says, Dasham satata yukta tam bhajanam priti purvakam tadani buddhi yogam tam yenamam upayanti te. To those who constantly devoted and worship me with love, I give the understanding by which they can come to me. We get this understanding doing our sadhana, chanting in the morning, and doing devotional service. That is the way to get to understand why Krishna is impartial to his enemies and to his friends. That's all I can say today. Yes, so I hope it was more or less understandable for you. Thanks, Kai Prabhu, for his translation. So, if you like to say something or to add or to comment, it would be very kind of you. Or to correct me, it would be the mostly kind of you. Some comments, questions, or
thinking about what you said that we have to be grateful. I really like that. I was thinking we can be more grateful when we know the value of what we have. Sometimes we, because we don't know the value, it's difficult to be grateful. So this morning when I was just singing the Govindam prayers, deity greeting, I was just remembering Mother Yamuna singing this. And when Srila Prabhupada first heard this Govindam prayers, he was so touched. He cried. He was so touched by the devotional feeling of the Yamuna. That this should be played at all the ISKCON temples, using the deity. And the prayers, they are chanted by Lord Brahma himself. The meanings are so great. So such nice meaning. But then if we don't know this, then we don't know the value, and then we don't know what we have in front of us. It's difficult to be grateful. I was just thinking, if we know the value of something, then we are more grateful. For everything, like whatever we do, we take prasadam. If we know the value of prasadam, grateful. There is one story that Lord Shiva, he got prasadam and he was dancing, like in ecstasy, because he got a little bit of prasadam. And oh no, it was Narad Muni who started dancing, and then because he got a little prasadam. And then Lord Shiva saw Narad Muni so happy, and he asked, "Why are you so happy?" And then Narad Muni said, "Because I got prasadam of the Lord." And then Lord Shiva said, "Where is for me? You have not kept any prasadam for me." It's all finished. And then he was angry. He was, "How can you not keep prasadam for me?" And then he found that in the nails there was a little bit of prasadam remaining. Lord Shiva took this and then he put it in his mouth, and then he was dancing like his dance of devastation when he danced. So the value of prasadam and value of everything we do is so valuable, and if we know the value, if we try to understand what is the value of chanting, what is the value of deity greeting, then we become grateful.
Yeah, that is the value of prasadam, the value of Krishna's mercy that we should understand. And Govindam Adi Purusham, yes, serving my obeisances to Govinda, the primeval Lord.
This was chanted by Brahma when he was enlightened.
It was, yes, yes, it was enlightened, yes.
So such a, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was searching for Brahma Samhita in South India, and it was lost here, and he found it in one temple in South India and hand copied it. So he knew this was so valuable prayer. He copied it by hand and then brought it back. Such a nice prayer. It was, there are so many verses and we only have some part. Brahma Samhita is it's a whole book, but we don't have all. And we'll copy it on. Valuable.
This to understand is already not so easy. Yes, Brahma Samhita. Thank you very much. Because Yamuna Devi, she was so open to Srila Prabhupada. Yeah, as it's written, she was his life and he was her life and soul, Srila Prabhupada. In spite of something difficulties that she has experienced. Yes. She was very much grateful and delighted. Thank you very much. But really it is simple. Looks simple to be grateful and devoted, but the um, power, this power inside us, power of gratefulness and devotion, it is different. Yes, if we leave something for us, maybe it can be as well too. But then it is not what Yamuna is singing. That is not this prayer. Govindam Adi Purusham Tam Aham Bhajan. So if we are praying, if we are bringing our businesses, by our businesses, we give everything to our spiritual master, to the previous acharyas, to Srila Prabhupada, and to the Lord. Yes. It is not easy to understand what it means, everything to give. But we shouldn't understand it, what I can say. We only are serving Him, chanting to Him. And the more we are doing this, the more Krishna gives us the understanding, we can say only, not only, but the understanding how to come to Him. He gives us this way, how to come to Him. And then it's our choice. Yes. And very important here, don't stop your devotional service. It is the essence, maybe, of this, not maybe, the essence of this text. Don't stop your devotional service, doesn't matter what happens. Just like my Guru Maharaj, he is always saying, Imavite again, Imavite again, Imavite again. So to go on all the time, it's not so easy, but it's not about easy or not easy. We go on if we're here, if we have got this mercy of Krishna, yes, we go on. Maybe some devotees are not satisfied with Krishna. It is something about demonic features. We all have something of negative in us, yes, because we're jivas, we are mundane, born like mundane persons, yes, but nevertheless, all these demonic features, all anathas, can be killed by this way of devotional service. By Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, Vandanam, Archanam, Padasevanam, Sakhyam, and Dasyam Sakyam Atmanivedam. Atmanivedam, fully surrender to Krishna. Through all these methods of devotional service. It doesn't come immediately. And that is very nice. Then we have this way, this happy way to go on. And every time to experience how joyful it is to give our service. Krishna. Something you say, something you said. What was interesting for you? What was useful for you? Our how to say, chanting acharya, japa acharya, Prabhu. Every morning, very early, sitting here the first and chanting the holy name. Yes, that's why you have so much service, because you're asking every morning for service. Give me more, give me more, give me more. That's why 24 hours. You are engaged in the devotion, so he is getting it because he is asking for it very intensively. Jai Ishvara Mataji, Ishwari Mataji, what you can say? Jai Ishwari, Ishwari, Jai Ishwari, I'm sorry. А? Что-нибудь скажете? Хотите? Нет. Okay, then. Again, thank you very much. Nimai Sachisuta Prabhu, that you have asked time, and thank you to come and translate for devotees who don't understand English. Okay. Srimad Bhagavatam should be read every day. Every day. Then Srimad Bhagavatam can be the example, can be the example, the perfect picture for us, what we should do. Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Jai Srila Prabhupada ki.